You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Chris Gillis. When is the right time to tell someone you're dating about your issues? Ladies, we are back. Mr. Gillis is back from his adventure. I am back from my adventure. And
River rat, Marni.
I was a river rat. It was so amazing. I realized also I haven't been in like social situations in so many years. Like I haven't been in a situation where I just meet new people, like in a group and like hang out with people. Anyway. So I got, Jeremy was saying, you know how I always say on the show that like men speak like, what is it, 7,000 words a day, and men speak or women speak like 21,000. And Jeremy was like, I think I've like used my quota of words for like the next 6 years because you're like so social. Yeah.
Oh, you have to be. You're sitting, nuts to butts with people in a raft, right? And for hours and hours on end. So
yeah. And you're eating breakfast with them. You're eating lunch with them. No, it's not small talk. Here's what I took away. So this is related to the Bachelorette and the Bachelor is I like developed these really amazing deep friendships with these people in like basically 5 days. And so, obviously exchange numbers. And I was talking to one of the women, and at the end of our little exchange, she was like, "Love you." And I was like, "Love you too." And we both watched The Bachelor. And I was like, "Oh my God, you can't fall in love in 5 days."
You can't. You were falling for them, and you had these strong feelings, and it was because you're isolated, Marni. Yeah, it's so true. You're isolated off in the real world. You had no phone, dude. That's it. That's the secret, girls. There it is. If you want to fall for somebody, get rid of your phone. Go on a river trip or something, or it's somebody, and you'll just. You know what? I've heard of my friend, a couple of friends I know, what's a Pacific Coast hiking thing, that long trail. They were just with them out in the wilderness too. And they were like, dude, they knew within like, a couple of days, like, I want to marry this person. I'm like, what? But there it is.
Yeah, because you're just isolated.
Fully present, yeah.
And also you're having, and so we talk about why do they do all these adventures, although they haven't been doing very many adventures lately. They've just been like having dinners and having hot tub moments. But
hot tubs,
what we used to say is that like the reason why on a lot of these shows they do adventures together, do new things, is that when you share a new experience, and this has been proven, that is new to both people at the same time, it creates intimacy and bonding. And so that's the other thing about, that experience is you're bonding around these new experiences that you're having together. So that also creates intimacy. So yeah, I guess you can fall in love in 5 days.
Intimacy. I heard is into me.
Intimacy. Okay, let's talk about this crazy show, Into Me, I See. So here's the thing. Like after the first 3 or 4 episodes, I was like on the Bachelorette train. I was like, best show ever. Oh my God. Yeah. And now literally we're on like week 5 and I'm like, oh my God, when is this thing over? If I hear fucking Gabby be like, too broken, too love. And if I hear Rachel say, I can't do it, I just can't do it, I'm literally going to punch them in the face. No, I'm not. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm a little bored. Are you a little bored?
Now that you point out, is definitely Groundhog's Day but just in like a different city, from Amsterdam to wherever. Like, it's like, wow, you're right. It's the same thing, and in weirder, stranger dresses, and with dwindling guys. But it does seem to be the same thing. And I am I guess it does make sense. I'm like, holy crap. Dude, they're going into hometowns now. I was like, I have nothing invested in most of these guys. All the guys, really. I barely know the guys' names, but I guess it makes sense because they're same number of episodes, but splitting, right? Twice the number of guys, so half the screen time. So I kind of don't give a shit, but I am starting to get a little bit annoyed. I'm like, just hurry up and fix it already or get over it. But I'm tired of hearing everyone cry about the same thing, and everyone just trying to bond over their brokenness. Like, ugh, come on.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is they are definitely bonding over their brokenness. And you and I read. I went deep. I tried to get into Reddit, which I never do because I was like so fascinated about this coronavirus thing, which we can talk about in a minute. About how
Coronagate. Okay, got it.
Coronagate. I actually almost said one of the players instead of one of the guys, like it's a game. I almost said like when one of the players got COVID-19. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck? How does a dude like have to leave the game for getting COVID and no one else is like, nothing happens to any of the other people that are living in a ship?
Yeah.
I was that anyway. So when I read it, and the stuff that I did find was just sort of like most people being like, this is stupid. But that being said, there's still so much to learn.
Real hot take, because I love cruising, going on cruises, and I just think that my little prediction is that they quickly like brushed over it because freaking Virgin made this they docked this $1 million ship, hundreds of $1 million ship, and they lost probably hundreds of thousands of dollars by letting them ABC cast use their ship just to them. And the worst stigma you can have as a cruise ship is outbreaks of COVID. And so they fucking weren't even, they only had it. It wasn't even full. It was empty. And they still got COVID. Like, oh no.
I know that's true. And they're like, oh, we have a situation. We're going to use the C word one time and one time only.
But it is something like the red light famous Amsterdam district. So where they're getting whipped and all sorts of weird shits happen. So that kind of does make sense. If you're going to get COVID,
yeah.
to get in Amsterdam.
Well, on Reddit, we will talk about dating, ladies, I promise. Yeah, but on COVID, on Reddit, they said that there was a rumor that this young man, I don't remember, literally Aaron, Josh, what the fuck was that guy's name? I literally don't remember it. It's been a few days. The COVID guy.
A COVID boy, Logan, right?
Logan. God, that article was so funny. They were like, is your name, wait, you copied it. It was so good. It was like, is your name? Oh no, you did it in the text. Okay, I have to find people. I'm pretty sure that a Jimothy, maybe an Eben or a Zarp or a Corner. Anyway, yeah, we don't remember their names. It's such a good article. We should link to it in the show notes. But anyway, on Reddit they said that he possibly was doing some drugs, doing some shit he shouldn't have been doing. But then someone else on Reddit was like, do they even have money when they leave? Like, are they allowed out of the sight of the producer's eyes? Like, is he like getting a hooker? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, we'll never know.
No.
We'll never know. Okay. No.
Emily thought she knew, and I did grill her yesterday because she read something. So it's what's so annoying about even a Reddit. This all the internet is. Everyone, you can write something, you can sound like you're so sure of it, and Emily like skimmed over it, and she's like, "Oh no, that's not." He got kicked off because he had a emotional, because the whole theme of the show, which we'll talk about here, is emotional health, and she said like, he had emotional health issues, and then I said, you know what, I don't believe you, and I tried to make her prove it to me, and she didn't, and she couldn't find it, and she kind of just did the thing where Emily does, and she's kind of closed her eyes and just ran away and got it.
That's so funny. I found one. I did find one article. I found one article. It was like, my emotional health was like pretty unstable.
Of course it is.
Because you're on a show. Like, whatevs. Okay.
Totally. And Mark, let's on emotional, on dating, on everything. Let's just point out when we're not shitting on people when we say like, hey, emotionally broken. So for those of you who've been followers for a long time, Marni and I are massive emotional health proponents in taking care of ourselves, and we are first hands up, say, hey, who's had severe issues, you and I, and that's how we met, doing these programs and all sorts of things. But I think we're on now all the belief that it doesn't have to be our identifying characteristic of who we are. And just the term broken gets old because it sounds like, it's like a broken plate. It's never quite the same. No. So that's what's getting old for me, is it's becoming just this old hat trick they pull out, like
it's it's the V card. So you and I are talking about the V card, right? Like, and so usually it was like, oh, we tell a story about a loss that I had or someone who died or, my mom or dad left. Okay, fine. But now they're just sort of like, I had an issue and I went to therapy and they're like, no way, you went to therapy? Me too. The thing that was funny to me the other night when I was watching it was, and Jeremy and I were laughing about it. They're talking about therapy like it's literally like a recent thing. Like it's a brand new thing and they never heard of it before. And they're like, oh my God, isn't it amazing?
Yeah. It is. It is for a lot of people. Yeah. And it's almost like a cool thing. Like, I don't know. Oh my God, you've been bungee jumping? Me too. But it's like a one time. It's an event. It's something they can bond over how scary it was, and they did it. And
I guess that the thing is, you and I have grown up around that, and so these people are pretty. What I do like about
weird
it, I will say this,
brokenness.
Is that they're young people, right? So they're in their early 20s, mid 20s, and they're working on stuff in therapy, and I think that's amazing. I mean, my kids have done that since they were teenagers as well, because it's like everyone. I just think that we're not too old to or too young to work on our stuff and work on it and get in that mindset. And so I think that that's really great. What I don't like, and now we'll talk about this, is and you brought it up, and this is something that you should not, I don't think, say on a first or second or third date, is well, let me reframe that. I think it's great that they are talking about, like I've had some challenges and here's what they were, and I've been working on it in therapy. I think that's amazing. That's great. What I don't like is, or what I think I don't want our listeners to do, is to hinge into those issues like claws and make that part of your identity of why you can or can't do something. And that's what's concerning for me, is when I see Gabby with her challenges with her mom. And I think it's totally appropriate that she's having a concern about, does she want to be a mom? Can I be a mom? What I'm like, is you're dating like 5 or 4 or 27 guys. My guess is that at least 50% of them probably want to have a family. I think you need to be clear that you don't know if you want to have a family. And you're saying that to everyone on the second or third date?
Babe, yes.
Because if I fall in love with you and then 5 years from now, you're like, you know what? I don't want to have kids. That's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
It does. I love that. And I hate to say it, but that is kind of like, like a fuck a girl or fuck a boy tendency to open yourself up and talk. This whole show is premised around marriage, right? And it's to not have a clear understanding of where you talk about your non-negotiables. I think that's a non-negotiable, right? With these people who, and some of these guys, they're very passionate, and to still be wishy-washy in that, again, and there's nothing wrong with shit. Not knowing if you want to have a kid, but to be getting ready to propose to somebody and to not have that figured out yet. And then it is kind of cruel then to be dating somebody like she was, a guy who actually already had a kid. It's like, you should have nipped that way in the bud a lot earlier. And because she heard him. Like, that's the kind of thing. Like, if she knows I'm unclear about whether I want to have a family, on the second date, you're like, hey, I saw in your profile you have a daughter. I just need you to know, like, I'm not sure about that. And my guess is the guy's going to be like, well, then we probably shouldn't go out again. Because I am sure my daughter exists. So.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Now, here's what's fascinating. So when she goes and she tells the guys, I've let Nate go. Nate had a kid. Yeah. Has a kid. I'm not sure if I want to have children. I can't remember if she was very clear about that. And if she was, were any of the guys like, oh shit, what? You don't know if you want to have kids? Or were they just like, it's okay, honey. Oh, I'm so sorry. That must have been hard for you. Like, I want to win. I want to win. Yes. I want to win. Like, pick me. Like, because to me, if you're dating someone and they were like, yeah, I just broke up with someone because we both had different ideas about like the future around family. And and you're a guy in the dating pool, which is in reality, that would be happening. Right. And you're like, oh, well, I'd want a family. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about that. And these guys were just like glossed it over. So in reality, I think that is something that comes back to bite you in the ass. I had a client once, Jessie, who's amazing and is in a relationship. And she had on her profile, she was in her 30s, mid 30s, like almost 40. Super clear. She doesn't want to have children.
Okay.
She dated a guy. And he was like, I thought I wanted a family, but you're amazing. So yeah, I guess I don't need to have a family. And after about the 4th or 5th date, whenever they would go do stuff, he'd be like, oh, those kids are so cute. She'd be like, yeah, I know. And he's like, see, maybe you do.
Yeah.
And after like the 3rd time of that happening, like the 8th or 9th date, she was like, bro, you know what? I think that you're hoping you can change my mind. And I'm definitely not changing my mind. So they broke up. And then she met someone else who absolutely 100% sure knew he doesn't want to have a family. They've been together for years. So it doesn't go away, people. So I think you need to get clarity and you need to own it, and you can't be a chameleon. Like, oh, well, I really like him. Maybe I could decide I don't want to have a family.
That's what I love about Tino's. He's the, remember Tino?
Yep. I like Tino. Yeah, Tino was
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I liked about his baby back bitch moment, where because it was a real, he was being a little baby back bitch, and those were real emotions, and he wasn't trying to chameleon like everyone. Oh, that's so great, you let Nate go or whatever. Like no matter what they do, they're all just so goddamn agreeable, and they don't have any opinion, and it's almost like they're not allowed to disagree and get upset with. Dude, I think she hoses them. Like she cancels their fucking date where they're all dressed up and ready to go see him. And then she's like, oh, I feel sad now. I can't go on this date with you. Or, all these things like the girls keep doing to the guys. And they never get upset. I
thought that was real great emotion. Too. He was like, well, I know you're sad about rando guy not picking you or leaving, but like, weren't you excited to spend time with me?
Yeah.
Couldn't you pull your head out of your ass for the people that are really into you? See, but I'm wondering... Yes, I'm wondering if deep down Tino's like, and I don't remember all of the previews, but I'm wondering if he's like, you're a lot, dude. Like you're an emotional roller coaster. Like, is that what life looks like with you? You're like, I'm too sad. I can't go to the party tonight.
Totally.
I'm too sad. Like you can't go out with your friends. I need you. I'm too sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's
it's
not
every
enough
guy's
of that.
nightmare. I mean, I know we talk about your ex a lot, but she is the poster child for a lot of these bachelorettes.
Totally, yeah,
she was. But I think she was sort of like that for you, right? Like if she was low, like you couldn't be. You had to like care and feed and maintain.
And then she would do like the crazy googly eyes that we literally called her that like Rachel does. Remember I told you, Marni, I was like, she's so good at just like, she locks in her eyes and just stares and goes, yeah, Rachel's like, just turning her head left and right and just like just like trying to like have sex with him with her eyes. And you're like, stop, just he's talking, listen, stop trying to eat his face or whatever. He's trying to say something to you. No, I totally, it's too much.
Yeah, no, definitely not cool. Okay. So, and so I think the other thing is that, I'm kind of going out of order of our list, but I think this is relevant because we kind of gave some dating advice based on what we learned from Gabby. But let's talk about Rachel officially. And you and I talked about this offline because we could barely wait till today to record. But Rachel is a pilot. She's a successful woman. She makes it very clear on date 1 or 2. I think she could do it in a gentler, softer, more feminine way. But she's sort of like, I'm a career woman. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I think, I love that she's bringing it up. If I were going to coach someone, I'd be like, I'm really passionate about my career and I plan on really being a working mom. Like, how would you feel? Like, what's your vision? How would that look for you? Like, what do you think about having two career people in a relationship? Yeah. And I liked it too, because the other guy, what's the really cute little beta guy, Tyler? He's like, you could be the breadwinner. I'll cook and take care of the kids. I like Tyler. I don't know. But anyway,
I hated that.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Look, I'm married to a guy who, when my kids were little, basically was like, look, you're the breadwinner. This is a gap. This is a gap. I'll do this stuff.
Okay.
That really totally worked for me.
So real quick, so to tie into what we're just talking about and this point, if that's true, yeah, if he's being honest, if that really is true, that's cool. I felt like he was kowtowing like all the other dudes were doing. I didn't trying
think that at all.
and just trying to yes, man, whatever you want, I'll do. And that's what I didn't like. I thought the cameras are on. I feel like everyone, like no one wants to be disagreeable, and so I would just say, ladies, look, there's a difference if you're on a date with somebody, and I think it's okay sometimes to have a differing opinion, and for the guy to say, actually no, and to challenge you, but versus I get it, the first date, but if you notice, if you're a person, like kind of like Rachel, well, I'm doing this and this and this, so either kind of given the subtext that, hey, if you want to continue on this epic journey and go to all these places, you just kind of need to nod your head and come along with me, versus gently but pushing back and saying, oh really, well, maybe is there anything that would make you want to, how hard set are on you on being, traveling the world and leaving me at home to nurse the babies for you and clean the house or whatever. So yeah, I think that's just, I know you know a lot of strong women. I know a lot of strong women, single women, and I think sometimes they see that as being incompatible, right? If a person will push back versus like, oh, I just want a Tyler. And again, if that's truly, if Tyler really just wants to wear the apron and stay at home, that's one thing. But also, is he just being a wet blanket just so he'll continue on? That's something else.
Yeah, I didn't. My vibe is that he is very much a guy who's like a protector, provider in a different way. Whereas when Tino answered the question, he was sort of like, yeah, I grew up in a 2-income family and my parents shared the roles and, they were there for me and they split stuff and they figured out a way to make it work. And I'll totally do that with you. That was his vision. Tyler's vision is like the way he heard the question, or his vision is like, if you want to be the breadwinner, I will totally be the stay-at-home dad. That was and he'd be super okay with that. So, but I think I like that she's having that conversation. What's shocking to me, and this is what we were talking about, and I think this is so profound for the people who are in our community and maybe listening to this show. And I said this to you. This woman is a badass. She flies planes. Where is her fortitude, her resilience, her resourcefulness when she doesn't get what she wants? When someone leaves, there's pressure and she falls into I'm not good enough. And I'm like, where is the resilience and the fortitude and the confidence? Because I'm guessing when you fly a plane, there's a lot of moments, especially when you're training, where there's pressure and you have self-doubt and you wonder if you're going to do it. Yeah. And that is the thing that so many of our listeners struggle with. They're like, at work, I'm like a badass. I don't doubt myself. But when a guy rejects me, it doesn't matter that there's 3 other guys who are interested. If the one guy that I thought was cute doesn't call me back, I'm like, oh, why does nobody like me? And in that way, Rachel represents the every woman because she's not seeing what she has. She's focused on what she doesn't have. And that will kill you in dating. Like that will kill you. She has zero resilience. She doesn't believe in herself at a deep level. Her resilience, if we were going to score them, is 2, 10 being the best. Gabby at least can manage her self-doubt a little bit better. She can have a moment, but it seems like she can pull her head out of her ass a little bit and be like, okay, wait, I have all these guys who love me. Let's keep going. Whereas Rachel's like, I can't leave my room. So
you're right. So Rachel needs to wear her Top Gun Maverick helmet everywhere. I mean, she's on dates, so she doesn't forget that she is who she is. Not a giant.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about how sexy should your dates be? Eating cheese versus whip yielding dominance. I would say this season has been I literally fast forwarded during that. I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable during the armpit smelling date that I also fast forwarded that.
Epic.
What are they doing with these people? It's so awkward. You didn't watch it, don't. You know what I mean? You saved yourself. They put the men toe to toe laying down with their shirts off.
Yeah.
Were they holding hands? I was so weird.
No, they're all. Yeah, in like a weird satanic looking little circle, and like the what was BDM dominatrix chick, and put there you're and then putting whipped cream all over nipples and clamps, and then
you can
somehow
see my face right now. I'm just like, whoa.
and then no, the hilarity of it is that they're all in there doing this weird shit, and then somehow and then Logan gets COVID. Like, away.
Yeah, they were licking. She was licking his nipples. How does she not get COVID?
From plate, and then they all just make out with each other. So, oh my god, allegedly. So maybe the COVID thing didn't, or it's not as contagious. I don't know. That's so many
I don't
questions.
know, but they were very, very, very close. That was what's so funny is if you Google this last episode, pretty much the whole thing's about like how the fuck did these people not get COVID?
Yeah.
If it was real. But
so
yeah.
Too sexy, not enough sexy. I did too sexy on my first date with Dr. Emily. I think I told you I took her to, I can't believe I had the balls to do it. Yeah, it was dinner and then like a burlesque show. People were like, why'd you do that on the first date? What kind of balls do you have? And I do have pretty big balls, and that was pretty crazy of me to do. And it was definitely, it was a little too much. It wasn't quite, nipple clamps and whipped cream, but it was definitely a lot. So what's your take on how, is that a red flag if the guy pulls out, takes you to the burlesque show or does something crazy, or what do you think?
Yeah, like, I don't think you want to go see like 50 Shades of Grey on your first date. Do you know what I mean? It's like a little awkward. Yeah. And I think the other thing that makes it worse in this context, which, so definitely don't do like a group situation. Like, don't go to a tantric sex workshop on your first date. Like, I think it's a little bit too much. And what's amazing though, and you brought this up in your notes, which I thought was really amazing, is that none of these guys, and I get that it's a show and they want to win her love and all this kind of crap, but none of them say like, bro, I'm not doing that. Except one guy says like, I'm not going to answer that question. I think Johnny is like, I'm not answering that question.
Those are the worst questions ever. Like I was like, I don't even want to know about that stuff. This shit's personal and private. How does that set somebody up? Ladies, okay, so yeah, it's a little context is you don't need to ask your guy how many women he slept with or how many times he jerks off and all these strange things. Like, what was the idea of that? Like making them comfort. It was just making it awkward, making it good TV versus I think what we're complaining about is these chicks don't know any of these guys are one they're going to propose to, take home to see their family. They know so little. Instead, they're asking all these stupid, superficial, good for TV moment questions.
Yeah, it was weird. And I don't think those questions are appropriate. And I think that
or helpful even.
Yeah. And I think, what's the other, the guy who got sent home, Evan and
Spencer.
Seamus, I don't remember.
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer. Literally, like the fact that those guys even thought they're like the fake drama. It was so fake. She's like, who am I going to choose? It's like, have you talked to that guy, Evan? But anyway, Evan goes on the cheese eating date and he's like, I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm going to be sick. And it's like, you know what? If a guy says like, do you want to go, bungee jumping? And you're like, yeah. Even though you're afraid of heights. No, just be like, hey, like, I don't really feel like I'm in a place where I want to do that kind of date with you right now.
Otherwise, you'll be farting your brains out. So come on.
It's like, no, I don't want to answer that question. No, I'm allergic to cheese. Like, you don't have to go to the whole story about like, but which I had a woman do on a date. And the guy was like, okay, I just asked if you want some of my macaroni. No need to go into it. But feel free to say no politely and then redirect the conversation, right? You don't need to tell the whole story, but God, feel free to say no. You don't have to be a people pleaser. Okay. Now this thing, what are your takes on calling your spouse king and queen?
Oh my gosh. I'm so over. And I think it's kind of gross and knowing how so many people so early on dating, they're like, oh, this is my king. This is my queen. You hear the guy say it. I think Tyler C used to say it a lot and all this. Oh yes, queen. I'll do this for that. And I get it. What do you think about all that? How that's, I just seems like kind of like we're saying, it's that pedestal, that worshiping. It seems like it's so unreal, especially early on. And then it is there any point in a relationship where like, are you like, do you introduce Jeremy as your king when you're out and about RV in the world?
I don't, but here's the thing. And you may not like to hear this answer.
Oh, let's hear it. I gotta hear it.
I know. I think that we don't need to be called a queen, and I definitely don't call Jeremy my king. But I think that as humans, as women, and as men, like we want to feel special, and we do kind of want to feel like you have us on a pedestal. Just like a guy wants to feel like, oh my God, thank you for fixing the blah, blah, blah. You know, you're so amazing. You're my hero. Like, I can't believe that's so great that you helped me. You know, like you're such a stud. Right. Like I put this person on a pedestal because of I appreciate inherently this thing about you. And I think that when people get into long-term relationships, they forget that part, you know, like I really appreciate, like just last night I made dinner and I can't remember the context, but it was sort of like, could you like appreciate I made this amazing dinner, right? Like I would love to be like, oh my gosh, she is a queen in the kitchen. You know, like, and so I think if it's genuine, I think and I know it's probably not very feminist and whatever, but I think deep down, that's kind of part of the problem that women have is that we want to be feminist and we want to be independent, but also like we want to like a man who will like take care of us and cherish us and adore us and treat us like a queen.
I actually don't disagree with any of that. I think that's absolutely spot on and perfect. And I agree that if you know, especially, it's more important to authentically to say and to embody and hold that, hey, you know, this, you know, Marni's my queen for making this macaroni and cheese that doesn't have milk in it because I'm lactose intolerant. So she used some other substance. And, you know, that's why she's my queen, and to hold her and treat her and absolutely and I think the special thing about king and queen is when you have one, you got one king and one queen, and just to show that is your one person you truly respect versus the word, it's become, I feel like it's like cheap. And it's like what I was pointing out, I was like, dude, these guys don't even know these girls and these girls don't know these guys. And just to go around and throw that out, that seems cheap versus like, you know, when you're with somebody and they've proven over and over again, that you know, like king and queen ultimately takes care of its person, you know, its people, and it's respectful, and you love them and they love you. And so then I think it is okay. And I agree that there shouldn't be a problem with being able to say it, but it's just when it becomes like a throwaway word. You know, like a hashtag,
like your words and actions you have to follow through on it. You can't say, I'm going to make you my queen and then be like, hey, bitch, get me some dinner.
Totally. Yeah. Where's my dinner, bitch?
Where's my dinner, bitch? So I want to also talk about this before we go. This is so spot on. Are you genuinely happy with the man you're with, or are you just happy that you're getting attention from that man? And that is our dear Rachel. Rachel. First of all, and also whoever put her in that god awful red dress.
Thank you, Marni. My goodness. The internet disagrees with me. Emily disagrees with me. I thought that was what was like, she looked like a playing card, like whatever.
Yes, exactly. She looked like the queen of diamonds.
Thank you, dude. What the fuck?
I wanted our Brooke, you know, I was fashion input. I thought that thing was fucking hideous. But anyway, she has like all these men, well, a handful of men that I think they're really into her. The guys that are left. Tino, although I think he's sort of like, I don't know about you at this point. We've got Tyler, baby Tyler, who I think is super cute. And then
great body, by the way. I didn't expect Tyler. I was like, he looks like I don't like baby Tyler. He seems too beta for me. But then when he took his shirt off, I was like, holy moly. However, I do want to point.
Also, he kissed her very sexy.
Did he? Did he choke? Yeah, did he choke kiss her?
No, he was just very like masculine and like assertive. Yeah, no, I like Tyler. And then there's Zach.
Zach
to me is a little vanilla. Like I don't have a big
What is
imprint? I just know what he looks like, but I don't know anything about him.
What is his dating? What is his Marni's dating archetype? What is Zach? Yeah, I'm trying to see.
I literally I can't even remember a date with Zach. What did they do on his date?
He did. God, he's that was Hot Tub Tulip. Wasn't it Hot Tub Tulip or in the middle of the tulip field
Hot Tub Tulip. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like
he lost 85 pounds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. Let's compare, shall we? Zach does the so you need to know this thing about me. Like, I lost 85 pounds. I went to therapy. Gabby's dude, and I don't remember his name, the investment banker from Santa Monica, who was like, I had low self-worth and I went to therapy.
Jason, I think.
Jason.
Yeah.
Those were basically the exact same conversation.
Totally. Yeah.
But for some reason, the Jason thing seemed a little more vulnerable because he felt really super uncomfortable saying it and that it was like a big deal for him. Whereas Zach was just sort of like, so here's the thing you need to know about. I just felt like it was sort of like, I'm trying to, I don't know.
Are you getting those backwards right now? Or do you mean because Zach is Rachel's guy, Jason's Gabby's guy? Which guy do you think?
Yeah. I thought Jason, because she was like, Gabby was like, okay, so Gabby was sort of like, I feel like you have a little wall up. And Jason was here's my thing, but I went to therapy. That made a big difference. And then Zach sort of initiated it. He was like, I used to be fat. I had a lot of issues. I went to therapy.
I thought you think the opposite of it, because I thought that what I liked about Zach, although Zach's boring. He's been out watching paint dry on a wall. I could care less. But that's just me. I need like razzle dazzle, way too much energy and craziness. But I thought you were going to be like, hey, I really like the way he went out to the landing. He did his flip. He stuck the landing. He said, hey, this happened. I've done this. I lost 85 pounds. But I liked how he said, and then he mentioned his ex relationship. He said, I was a different person, which you're a big proponent of. And now, I love that. And XYZ happened. And now given plus time, and he mentioned like a time frame, a year and a half ago or something like that. He goes, I've learned so much and I've grown so much. Yeah,
I did like that. You're right. I did like that.
Right.
What I liked about it is that he tied it to like, I think I'm a whole person and I'm ready to be in a relationship.
Yes.
So I do like him. I just feel like, I don't know. I can't like, is he funny? Is he like, what's his shtick? Like, I don't, as a character, I don't really.
He's just sweet. He's a sweetheart.
He's just a sweet guy.
You need a little bit of a jerk. A little jerk.
No, I don't need a jerk. I definitely don't need a jerk.
Trust me, Chris.
I don't need a jerk.
Don't listen to this.
But I think that all these men really love or are falling in love with Rachel. I think they're genuine. And I really want for that to be enough. You know, and I don't know, because I can't tell with Rachel because of her repetition. She's like the girl version of Clayton, where she's like, oh, you love me? Oh, great. I'll love you. You love me? Oh, great. I'll love you. I just want anyone to love me. I'm not sure. I think she just wants people to love her, and that like makes her day. And so I can't tell like who her person is, because I just feel like a little bit like she's just happy that a bunch of people like her or love her. So if you were going to pick a front runner right now, who do you think it is for? We'll do Rachel, then we'll do Gabby.
I think Rachel. I don't know, dude. I think Tino just makes the most sense. I think Zach's nice, but I think he's too nice, and I think she needs somebody to say like, hey, stop crying. Look, yes, I get it. I just cooked a 6-course meal for you. And yes, one of them turned out bad, but stop crying because the green beans didn't turn out right. Everything else is great. Like,
exactly.
Grateful. And like, wipe the tears away, babe. This is bullshit. At some point in verses, I think Zach could be like, yeah, let's go to therapy together and talk about how you deserve real green beans that are cooked perfect. And
that's true. And Zach and Tyler will just cook the green beans for her.
Totally. He would be in the kitchen cutting out the green beans.
Exactly. So I don't know who her person is, but I feel like Tino sees some pink flags in Rachel, and I don't know if he's gonna I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
You think you would deny it? You think you would deny if he picked her? You think that he could be like, no, I won't do it?
No, but I think that it will explode. I think that I think that one or both of them is going to sabotage it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Whoever.
Yeah. So let's talk about Gabby. Or Gabby. She has this voice.
Yeah, she's got the ghost. Yeah, they call it like ghost whispering.
Yeah. She's like, like when she hears someone, she goes,
I love the ghost.
Yeah.
It's so great, though.
Okay. But she's smoking hot. I mean, her body's like, she's really skinny, but she's pretty. She dressed up good. Okay, so let's talk about so she has left. She was just like, I have 4 roses, but I only like 3 of you. So bye.
True.
So she has, which I like.
She's got.
I don't even know who she has. Who does she have? Who's Eric?
Eric. He's got like the mullet.
Yeah, he kind of looked like Logan.
Eric, I know. I always get this too confused. Yep.
Yeah, Eric. She has. Who else?
She's got let's see, no, Ethan's gone. She's got hold on, how are we forgetting this?
Because they're all boring.
Oh, she's got the boy you like, right? No.
Oh yeah, Jason. She has Jason. Yep, she has Jason, the finance guy.
Okay, yes.
Who else?
Finance guy. And then she's got Johnny.
Johnny Florida. Yeah, Johnny Florida. Yeah. That's it.
Whoa, okay. Ooh, I don't love that.
I know. In the end, she had so many. See, my favorite was Nate. I thought Nate was her guy.
Pissed. Have you gone on a Reddit? And I'm so proud, by the way. You're opening up a whole nerdiness side you with Reddit now. You know, Reddit is up in arms about Nate because apparently he's got 2 different. He went on a reality Steve, and he's got other girls, and he was. Yeah.
I didn't want to go too deep because I didn't want to get spoilers, and I don't understand Reddit enough. I don't know what buttons to click. But yeah, I did hear that. I did hear that Nate might be a player, but maybe Nate will be back on Bachelor in Paradise. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
He might go the way of Balakai. We don't know. But God, remember Balakai?
Yeah. I know you.
Blake Schwartzman. Okay, but anyway, I don't love who Gabby has left either. But who do you think is the front runner?
Eep.
I think it's Johnny.
Really? Ooh, maybe you're right. God, she doesn't really seem to have a connection. And what's
they
his name?
had fun together. He was goofy. I think Jason's too quiet. And
I still see Johnny. I don't know. What's your take on him? He seems kind of bottled up still, and he admitted, he kind of went off on he was dumping, right? We talked about, hey, look, you got stuff happen, like cool, you go to therapy, but I felt like he was dumping a little bit. That was my take about. He's like, I don't know, it's just weird. Do you need? I don't think you need to tell somebody you have low self-esteem.
No, God, no, definitely.
He said that. That made me cringe. My bro.
Yeah. I forgot he said that. Yeah, I think. I guess I'm okay. I take my Johnny prediction back because I feel like they're almost like too similar because they're both like like they're like both kind of.
People bond over trauma all the time, though, Marni. You see, I'm sure you see it. That's like their.
No. Yeah, but I think their style is jokes. I think they're both jokes. And I just wonder if like you can have 2 people that are that way. Yeah. So maybe I don't. God, I don't know. Eric is like. I literally, what's the date she did with Eric? I don't even remember.
No, it happened so long ago.
Well,
yeah. And finance boy, no.
Maybe Gabby, maybe at the plot twist is at the end, Gabby's like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck I want.
I choose me.
I have so much work to do. I don't choose any of them. I choose me.
I can see that. I think that's what she actually probably should do. But I do think she will pick Johnny because, a lot of us do in life. We choose what feels familiar. And when we're still figuring ourselves out, we're not ready to handle all these new variables of other people who are ready to make us grow and push us and challenge us and tell us no. And I don't see any of those guys, any of Gabby's guys doing that. So I think if she doesn't choose herself, she'll choose Eric, but then they'll get broken up because then they'll decide they want to be friends. And they'll continue on they'll talk about therapy together on their individual journeys.
Exactly. I think they both have what I love about the evolution of this show is like we've been saying for years that the women in the show need all characters have a lot of work to do, which is why they're dramatic and good cast members. But in the former years, that was on the DL. Like, it wasn't like they weren't talking about it. But on this season, they're like, I have low self-worth. I think I'm broken. I don't know if I'm lovable. I don't know. Like, they're just out there with it and they're talking about their challenges and their issues. And so good on them.
I have a 15, 20 of vision. It's not perfect. How? Okay, we get it. What's the show what's gonna turn into? Everyone just comes up with all their things that their parents don't like about them and their report cards from 5th grade.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know. I think Claire Crawley just started this whole trend of I've been working on myself and let's go on a date and scream into the universe.
Oh, Blake.
They broke up, by the way. Didn't Blake and whoever he was with break up?
Yeah.
Bachelor Nation is
not doing well. And then Nate and Ben.
But I do have some good news.
What?
And we'll wrap up with this. I did in my Googling, in my hole I went in the other night, I did discover that 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later, all the people from Love Island 2022 are still together.
Make it stop. Oh, no. Oh my God.
A whole month. So happy month anniversary to our Love Island UK folks. God. Well, believe it or not, it's already hometowns next week, which is ridiculous. It's like the shortest season ever of The Bachelor. And maybe that's for the best. Yeah. So hometowns are next week on Monday. I'm going to be watching. Maybe we could watch it live at the same time. Maybe not, though. I don't know.
I do agree that because there was, so much going on for ADHD folks or ADD folks, whatever it is, that because there were 2 bachelorettes and there were so many dudes that I do felt the season moved a lot quicker. But I feel like they're all about to make bad, terrible decisions, and I don't know anybody. With that said, and they were getting rid of like the hot NASCAR driver boy too soon, and then Gabby hadn't had her shit figured out with Nate, and so I think that's where she probably should have. Assuming that he's not a piece of crap. That I thought they had a great connection on there. I wouldn't be surprised. No, he can't come back. I was like, I think they're bringing Nate back.
Anything can happen.
Well, at old grandpa's house and be like,
well, here's the thing. They can bring Nate back because low key got exposed to COVID and he's probably just in one of those rooms on that ship. Quarantine.
He's just hanging out right there. He can't go anywhere. Oh, I love it.
All the guys that got sent home are actually just on the ship.
Awkwardly shooting hopes up there and just hanging out on the sun deck.
They're like, you get the sun deck for your quarantine. You get the... Yeah, so I don't fucking know. And we probably never will know, but you will know because you're going to research it and find out the truth.
Yes.
All right, ladies. I think there are a lot of hot takes from this. And as we always say, the bottom line is before you go on a reality show, life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.